Hey everyone, Brad Reading Game Wall here for another quick play. It's a game I haven't played in quite a while. Chips Challenge. If you don't remember what that game is, it is pretty much a mid 90s or early 90s PC game. I remember it pretty much being on like Windows 95 and XP. And it's basically you're helping this little kid named Chip, I guess he's a kid, I don't know, go through puzzles. And essentially and the puzzles get progressively harder as you go. I don't remember there being a story, but apparently I found this game on Steam. There's two of them, Chips Challenge 1 and Chips Challenge 2, and I bought it for like less than $1. So go figure. So I figured maybe I could just try and play through this, see how far I can get. Because I don't really remember getting that far as a kid, or I think I got as far as like level 30 on my own as a kid. I'm certainly not as skilled now, but this game definitely takes time, and it's a good time waster, to be honest. So we're gonna play, but now we have a story. Nerdy Chip McAllen suddenly stops eating lunch. Melinda, the mental marvel, is sitting down next to him. Melinda smiles. Chip, she says, if you finish the challenge, you could join our computer club, the Bitbusters. Chip has been a distant admirer of Melinda for a long time. Chip crunches his bag of pretzels and gulps. I'll do it! So, I would say the first 5 to 10 levels, they're basically tutorials as to what you're going to be dealing with. Then it starts going into like Mario Maker levels of of trolling. So the main thing is that you basically go through these doors. And oh yeah, it's like while I was recording, I found out that the controls were forcing me to use WASD, so I moved it to the direction buttons on my keyboard because it's there. Anyway, the main objective is to just basically get all the chips that are listed. Well, all the chips that are laid out through the level. Well, the number that you need. Get to the end. They're pretty much blocked by doors or other traps that you have to basically maneuver your way through. It's pretty simple, but they'll really start throwing the hardball stuff at you as you progress to the later levels. As you can see, that was pretty simple. So here is your next concept of the game. You have to deal with dirt blocks and water. Chip can't swim. If he jumps in the water, he's dead. So you can push these blocks into the water to make stepping stuff, to make more platforms for you to walk across. Also, if you come in contact with pretty much anything else that moves, you're dead. So here's lesson 3. Sorry for anybody that might have eye problems, because those platforms in the older days did not used to move. This one deals with the various shoes that you can wear. So the light blue shoes can go on ice. The blue shoes allow you to swim in water. The green shoes allow you to walk on these platforms without being pushed. And the red shoes allow you to traverse across fire. Now, the only problem I have with this version of the game is that this platform now moves to show that, hey, if you step on this, you're going to be pushed. And it can get a little disorienting for me. So now, we're dealing with buttons. Buttons basically act as switches to activate one thing or another. Pretty simple concept. But trust me when I say this game will start pulling some Mario Maker levels of BS. And here's our first experience of BS here. So there's stuff hidden under these blocks. But what I didn't know Somebody put a flame under that block. So yeah, this game likes to troll with you as well. Oh. But now that we know that because of trial and error, we won't fall for that same trap twice. So those tanks, they can't necessarily kill you unless you're in their path while they're moving. Here, the blocks that come in, they can't kill you, but they can leave you trapped in there. You can sort of move off of them, but that's about it. And as usual, once you grab all the chips, you can go through that door and get to the exit. So here's some enemies. The red button controls the clone machine. Oh great, so because that thing's being cloned, we can't cross there safely. So we need to just cut them off from that. And grab our key. Now we're set. Now that we safely grab the key, we go through the door. The brown button will release anything that is in the appropriate trap. But if you step into that trap, you will essentially be stuck there and you're soft locked. So I got an achievement for finishing levels 1 through 5. Here's another concept of basically fake walls. The fake walls are essentially marked in blue. Well, that you could possibly walk through them. Possibly. And then you have invisible walls. Which, yeah, you gotta figure out which ones are not fake. You figure out which ones are fake and which ones are not fake, and pretty much have to deal with the invisible blocks. So, thankfully, this wasn't too hard. But oh, trust me when I say it gets worse. So here's another concept. See that guy with the bandana over his face? That's a thief. If you walk across him and you have anything on you, such as keys or shoes, he will take them from you. Also, there is another gimmick where walls can appear under you. So yeah, imagine getting soft locked because you walked into the thief too early. So now that I've done that, I can just walk across here and boop, chip. But oh, he stole my boots. I can't walk through the fire anymore. But hey, I got boots now. Now I can walk through water now. Well, I can swim in the water now. Grab my chip. Oh, he stole my boots again. But I can at the very least grab that chip because I don't have any boots left. And yeah, yay, we're done. So here is another concept. Monsters are stopped by gravel and dirt and other blocks. But that doesn't mean that they still can. That doesn't mean that they're still not going to gun for you. Bummer. See, that didn't used to be a chattering teeth coming after you. That used to be something else completely. I can't remember what exactly, but that used to be something else completely. I think they were just like blobs. I'm not entirely sure. I think it was just like blobs and bugs. So, you gotta try and outrun these guys. Pretty simple in concept. I'm sorry that my mouse is still on the screen, but I didn't really pay much attention to it while I was playing the game. So here's our first, more or less, actual level. So, you gotta be careful in pushing these blocks. For one, if you push the block into the water, make sure you step on it, because otherwise you can't it will not actually materialize into a walkable platform and you can end up soft locking yourself. So first you gotta do this, grab your key, and here's our ice puzzle. And oops. picked the wrong direction. And so I actually did have thoughts to this game now that I see that there's a story to it. I think there was a story before, but I never actually read it. Because usually in games like these, like, you could actually read stuff like that in like the help section of the game. And you would just go click help and then like, oh well, this game is about such and such and such and such, and you actually have some sort of backstory. So I'm gonna grab this key. I gotta go open the door. And grab another key, hit the switch again. So I'm actually kind of surprised that this game has a bit of a story of you just want to join the club and you want to be next to this girl that you have a crush on. Simple story. I have no problems with it right now. Right now, as I say. So yeah, that can happen too. If you get too close, sometimes if you get too close to an enemy, even though some of these enemies walk on set paths, they can pretty much kill you. Like, you're pretty much dead because, oh, you were right next to them, or the game just says, oh, well, yeah, just die. Like, we don't like you. Imagine that. Now, I didn't know, like, at first, when I did the initial recording, and for whatever reason it did not record my commentary, I thought this game had no music. But it does, and it just turns out that my speakers have issues. There is a short in my speakers, and I don't know why, but I just need to go buy new speakers. That's gonna say, and as of right now, I don't have the money, so I just have to deal with it by moving my speaker wires in awkward directions just to get sound. The music's pretty generic. The music's pretty generic, and it can probably get annoying to hear certain sounds for quite a long time when you get to certain levels. Like, there's certain levels that will basically be like, oh, you need to collect all these chips that are all over the place in rows. And you might get sick of that sound. The music's also pretty generic, so there's nothing, like, you're not really missing out on too much. I enjoy it. For nostalgia's sake, I enjoy the old music. That would be like da 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 da. Like, I'm pretty, like, if you actually look up an old version of Chips Challenge, you'll probably find it there. Also, I'm just like, it's kind of surprising just for me to see Chip be animated. So, once again, I also have to stress, don't soft lock yourself by pushing the blocks in the wrong manner, because that can happen, and then you're screwed. And you'll just have to do this all over again. There are no checkpoints. Just like in most Mario Maker levels, there are no checkpoints. So push the bomb there. Oop. Grab my chip. There, I got all my chips. Now I can head straight home. Gotta avoid these ants. These oversized ants. And I need to basically release that guy out the trap so I can go to the exit. Brush fire. Nothing to worry about here, right? I mean, it's just walk through the level. I mean, you have all the chips, so you can just get to the end of the level. Although you're on a time limit, but oops, there is a giant ant or tick or whatever the heck that is coming after you. Not necessarily coming after you, it's walking on a set path, but you need to move it. Oh, that's the wrong path, and oh, thankfully I missed that guy. So at this point, now that I know that there's a story, I'm kind of starting to question, is this all worth it? Like, is this all worth it just to join a club and be with the girl that you had a crush on? Maybe. I don't know. But hey, we finished level 10. And now we get a bit of story. After warming up on the first level of the challenge, Chip is raring to go. This isn't so hard, he thinks. But now we have another level. Trinity.
Bummer.
And no, not the Trinity from... Not Trinity from The Matrix. And that's just me showing that you can't swim without the boots. And no, not Trinity from Gundam Double Bell. So, gotta figure out how to get some keys so I can get some boots so that I can get in there, grab my chips, and get out. Hey, there's a key. I believe I went at this for a good 40 minutes before I started skipping around on levels. And there's a reason why. I mean... Like, I'll show you when I get to that. But I at least want to show you, like, the first couple levels. Because they're pretty easy to do. And then, I would say roughly around level 15, level 20, things start to get really difficult. Like, at this point, the most difficult thing in here is just being caught up in various mazes. Like here, I have to figure out, like, okay, I need to figure out how to get back out. Which it took me a little bit of time to figure, like, oh, I just need to go back the way I came. Like, literally back the way I came. So I got my yellow key. There's also a couple other things I should try and collect while I'm here. I don't think there's a thief on this level. It's just I need to make sure I grab all the keys and then I can move on. But also in terms of nostalgia's sake, like I remember this game being pretty much on, like I said, it was pretty much like a standard issue game on every PC in the 90s. On almost every PC in the 90s. Like, this is one of the main games I would always see. Besides like Solitaire. Like, you might see Hearts on there. Like, you might just see a bunch of card games on there. Like Solitaire, Hearts, Poker. Yeah, it's rare. I always say it's rare if you can find Poker. But I would also see this game, and the other game that I would see on here is Space Cadet Pinball. Which I think a lot of people will remember Space Cadet Pinball. That is pretty much an old classic. Okay, so this level is gonna have a lot of annoying sounds because I'm collecting a ton of chips. I have to collect 652 chips and not die. See, these things are chasing me. Like, those things are chasing me. The only thing stopping them is that there's chips blocking their way. So I just have to collect like crazy. I'm on a time limit. There's giant chattering teeth trying to eat me. This is stressful. Anyway, I remember this in Space Cadet Pinball pretty much being on every PC, especially like in those that you would find in stores like Walmart, Circuit City, Walmart, Circuit City, Kmart, Sears, like any place where you would find that, oh well, we have a computer desktop on sale. And they actually would have a display model displaying in the back. I remember one time at a Walmart, somebody was basically messing around with the computer and they ended up restarting it. And it ended up being at the point where you had to enter the password. In order to get the computer to boot up, or get the desktop to boot up properly, you had to enter a password. And I sat there guessing the password for a good 10 minutes. And I found out that, oh, password is password. And I got in. The store cashier got angry at me because I got in. They're like, oh, you're not supposed to be in there. I'm like, well, the computer wasn't working. And I just got in, like, how did you get it working? I just entered the password. Apparently, she didn't know the password either. And I just simply guessed. But that was also during a time when passwords were incredibly simple. Like, you didn't have to worry. You didn't have to enter a password of like random numbers and letters and punctuation just to make your password secure. And even then, like, you had to go like, okay, well, my password is this, and now I need to change it like every so often, so some random hacker doesn't get in and steal my credit card info or something like that. It was a simpler time. Let's see. Well, yeah, I remember this in Space Cadet Pinball. Space Cadet Pinball was incredibly fun. Even if I'm not good at pinball, it was just fun to play. Especially when I got it on a later model desktop. I found out that it had music. That actually got me excited to play it a lot more. And I believe another PC game that was a standard issue, well, sort of a standard issue, was Hover. I think it's called Hover. Hoover is the damn thing. I think it was called Hover, and basically you were playing Capture the Flag. So here's a puzzle. South Pole. And your only hint is, what's the name of the level? I don't remember that hint being there when I played this level as a kid. I think I was just stuck here. And then I just started pressing down constantly. And I ended up finishing the level. Excuse me. And done. Teleblock. So here is probably where, this is essentially where things start getting really, really rough. I just soft-locked myself in 2 ways. But see, for one, I was playing this level based off my memory. And I also forgot how this level functioned. Bummer. What you're supposed to do is push the blocks through the teleporter into the water. But also, need to make sure that you open the right door. Because if you open that door on the left first, then you can't continue. And you just soft lock yourself again. And nobody likes being soft locked. Nobody. It's a crappy thing in Mario Maker levels that people do, and they're like, "Oh, well, oops, you soft locked yourself. Here, we put this spike thing here so you can kill yourself." That is just horrible. That's just horrible level design to me.
Bummer.
And now I soft locked myself again in the second way by pushing the block, by running through the teleporter and pushing the block in the wrong direction.
Bummer.
And I did it again. So the only choice I have is to kill myself. I think that's one of the main reasons why I do not like Mario Maker or Mario Maker 2 is that I see these levels that, like, oh, besides the ones with these incredibly hard jumps that is just do or die, these people come up with methods to soft lock yourself or say like, hey, you did this wrong, die. That to me is just horrible level design, and it's not fun. There's no, like, I don't see how anybody can have fun playing that. But apparently people do, and people constantly make levels like that, and people say like, oh, I want a challenge in Mario Maker. I think you can make a challenge in Mario Maker without having to design levels that essentially you're dead because you messed up. Essentially, like, you're dead because, oh, you chose the wrong path. And you chose the wrong path to take. I think it's incredibly stupid that such levels exist. And I soft locked myself again.
Bummer.
And realizing it, I groan and I go kill myself. See, soft lock, like, this whole soft locking thing, I would say this is old. This is essentially old, like the old 90s, 80s and 90s type of level design. And it's okay in certain aspects. To just be like, oh, hey, you took the wrong path. Right now we have to punish you. It's okay in certain aspects, but then others, yeah, you don't want to sit there and run. Like, yeah, you don't really want to sit here and be forced to repeat a level because you somehow messed up. But yeah, that's pretty much all I see. That's pretty much all the levels that I generally see on Mario Maker. There's not really any interesting levels. The only other thing that bothers me about Mario Maker levels is when people make levels that you essentially have to use a glitch to get through.
Bummer.
That's not, and I soft lock myself again. You know what? Let me skip past
Bummer.
this. Ah, here we go. Finally. Like, I'm doing it right. Like, I don't mind, like, in certain cases, I don't mind this being soft lock. Because for one, I can kill myself, and another thing is that it was generally my fault, even though I figured out the puzzle. Now here's a puzzle that is easy. I think this was actually, I feel like this was a lot harder back in the original Chips Challenge game. I feel like this was a lot harder. I'm not entirely sure. Or I might be remembering a totally different level. You're supposed to basically open all the doors so you can grab, and eventually you grab the shoes. I might be remembering a different level, but you grab the shoes, but you're really supposed to grab them one by one, because if you grab them all, you end up being looped back into a thief who takes your stuff, and you just basically have to make sure that you grab everything that you needed to grab and not grab too much stuff. That might be a future level. I don't remember too well. Either way, I'm gonna fast forward a bit because there was a point where I messed up because I forgot an important step. So I got all the chips, and well, there's something I forgot to do. I hit the button, but yeah. I forgot I needed to push the block onto the switch. So you can just see me here panicking, going, no, 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 which was funnier in the original commentary that I recorded that did not get recorded. But yeah, I was basically screaming, and oh yeah, apparently in this version, if you run out of time, you just combust. And you just explode. So I need to take a break and then come back, and then I accidentally moved my window. And I could not recenter my window for the life of me. I tried, but it just didn't want to recenter. So I'm just gonna show you the entire level without commentary. Like, I guess you can enjoy the music. Hopefully it's not copyrighted. I think I also screw up one more time because I forgot to do something. I'm not entirely sure if I did or not. Oh yeah, this is Chip's challenge. And eventually I'm going to start skipping around on levels just to show you the story and to show you just how hard levels can get. They're creative, but they're also incredibly hard, and they're just going to... It's basically a real time consumer. Heck, I mean, if you bought this for like less than $1 and you don't have money, I mean, this is a game to go to. Heck, I bet some people would like to watch this being streamed.
Bummer.
It's good to know that he says bummer still. It's not I'm still there's still a lot of nostalgia kicking in for me on this. But again, I feel like the older version sounded so, like the 90s version sounded so much better. This just sounds like, I feel like somebody just took this game, like whoever grabbed this game, like they just took it and then they made it, like updated the graphics and updated the music. But I'm fairly certain that this music is copyrighted. Like it's probably gonna be some random third party that copyrights this music, saying like, oh, this belongs to such and such and such and such, and this third party company is claiming it. I hate dealing with copyright on music. Sorry to talk about that. Like, I just hate dealing with it on terms of music because in a lot of cases, there's just no, like, you really can't win. Like, you really can't win in terms of that. It's just, oh, well, you have this, like, you have music that is owned by this company, or you may have once gotten music that was royalty free. It was completely royalty free, but now either the creator of the music signed up with a third party company, or that company decided to buy out the music, and now suddenly all your music is copyrighted. What the heck? It's like you can't win. And even that, and then even in these days, like you can't really even really like sing, like you can't sing songs or make noises without getting hit with copyright. It's like, oh, you were making this kind of noise with your mouth? Oh, well, I'm sorry, but that's actually copyrighted. It's like, how? I would just sit there and go like, how is that possible? And now that I'm thinking about it, Chip is going out of his way just to be with the girl that he has a crush on. It's like he has a crush on this girl, and he wants to join this. What I assume is the computer club. He's risking his neck just to join these guys. Is it really worth it? So now I'm gonna make sure that we do this right and not do this the wrong way again. Push the block on the switch, so now I no longer get into the trap door. Thank God. Oh, that honestly did stress. This level honestly did stress me out because I made simple mistakes. Mistakes I should not have made going through this level. But I can guarantee you the next set of levels are crazier than this one. So from this point onward, I'm going to be skipping through levels because this is a very long game and I did not really intend to record for this long. Especially because the puzzle, and I already know the puzzles are going to get really rough. Like here is Cell Block, which you can already tell what this level is just by the last one. This is Nice Day. Like, yeah, sure it is a nice day. I mean, just, oops, ran into an enemy. Yeah, nice day, alright. Try it again, oops. Yeah, like you can't get too close to these enemies. Sometimes they just blow up even though you're not in the same spot as they are. So I'm supposed to get all these chips and go through the door over there. Simple enough, right? Right?
Bummer.
Except, no, it's not really simple.
Bummer.
Because I gotta dodge these little balls that can kill me. I gotta dodge those little spiders that can kill me. Castle Moat. Digger! Digger is obviously Digger is something that can be a bit annoying. So now I'm running for my life. I gotta collect these chips and run for my life against these chattering teeth that want to eat me. And if I get too close, or I'm not fast enough, I'm gonna get eaten. Tossed salad. Like, this looks simple enough. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Nothing. Yeah, I mean, it's just like you got that random ant or wasp or whatever the heck that bug is. Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary. So, up. And if you're in the path of the tank, you die. But the challenge turns out to be harder than Chip thought. The Mythbusters want it that way, to keep out lobotomy heads. Okay, if anybody's been lobotomized, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't join the club anyway. I don't think they have a brain. I guess they want to keep out the jocks. You know, keep out the jocks, the goths, and all the other people in the club, all the other groups. Like this is like the total geeks club, or really, this is probably like a cult at this point. I mean, look at everything that Chip has to go through. I kind of want to I would generally give up at this point. But you know what? Let's see what the rest of the levels are. We still got, there's 149 levels or 150. Let's see. Iceberg. So I gotta clone the blocks, and so I need to clone the blocks and push them into the ice. Easier said than done. So I can do that, and then I step on the block. This is gonna get annoying, because I need to find the chips as well. And I don't know where the chips are. And considering that I only have barely 2 minutes to go through all of this. That's not a whole lot of time to be playing around. This is we're definitely reaching the levels of you need to already know what to do. Oh, but since I didn't push that block further, the other block gets pushed back. Forced entry. This is a little murder on my eyes. So, you know what? I think we should move on. Although past me seems to be trying to take it. I don't think past me can. We need to move on. Blow up net. 88 chips and gotta get past all these blobs. It's not too hard, but we got things to do. Ortho gelled. So this is actually a challenge. I need to get these little ships to actually hit the button for me, so that I can pass through, so that I can pass through and grab the chips. Blink. Teleport. Like, this is dealing with teleporters. Chips. Another chip collecting one with enemies. Go with the flow. I don't want to go with the flow, to be honest. The flow doesn't really seem to be that friendly. Especially since I end up soft locking myself here. I have no idea how to get out of it. I'm supposed to push all 4 blocks into the water, but now I can't push the 4th block in there. And I have no way to grab those fins. Is it a red herring? I don't know. Ping pong. So, first I need to figure out how to get in. Alright, now that I'm in. Oops. Arctic flow. Alright, well, time for more block pushing. I am glad Chip has some animation. And I believe he's actually wearing different clothes. Mishmash. This is a total maze. This made me think of Ross from Ross's Gaming Dungeon. And it's like So there's a couple of videos where he talks about how he hates dealing with mazes. It's like he loves puzzles, but he hates dealing with mazes. So I feel like this game would be a total love-hate relationship for him. Or heck, maybe it already is. Like, he's probably already played this because he mainly plays a lot of computer games. Oh, wait, we have more story. Chip, thick-soled shoes and pop-bottled glasses speed him through the mazes while his calculator watch keeps track of time. No, this one looks pretty simple. Just grab all the chips and get to the exit. And a short time limit. And an incredibly short time limit. That means there's no stopping to think about what could possibly be ahead. You just need to collect all the chips and get moving. In an efficient manner. I needed 6 more chips and I ran out of time. Next. Scavenger hunt. Oh boy, more mazes. More mazes, and this is even separated by blocks. On the rocks. Cypher. So a lot of these feel obvious as what you have to do, but it's going to be annoying. And then others, you're kind of curious. Lemmings. So, do they mean the game, or are they calling me a lemming?
Bummer.
I guess they meant I'm supposed to do with the game. Seeing stars. I skipped a level. Sampler. Oh boy. What could I possibly have to sample here? I never get the sampler platter at. I would never get the sampler platter at a restaurant. It just feels like too little of food. That does remind me of the time I was at Olive Garden. Oops. Glut. So I need to. So this is actually a pretty easy one, but I am short on time, and I need to make sure that I get rid of these guys. Need to keep these guys out. But it's actually simpler than I thought it was. So anyway, there was always this time where I went to Olive Garden, and I had this habit of ordering the same meal every time. My mom would always say like, "Oh, you always order the same thing." So just to spite her, I just felt like ordering something different. But then it turns out I ordered the same meal over and over and over again, and it didn't even taste good. What the reality was is that Mom was just tired of me ordering pizza or ordering spaghetti. Anyway, Florgasford.
Bummer.
Oops. And this is messing with my eyes in ways that I wish it didn't. But hey, now I can swim. But I need to figure out how to get through here. Chip reads the clues so he won't lose. I see you. I don't know what you're going to be seeing. Direction sequence. RDUL, second LULU. So right, down, left, up, left, up, left, up. Just makes me think of the Sonic code. Well, the Sonic 1 debug mode code or level select. I believe it was just hold down A, then it's like up, down, left, right. You'll hear a click and then you press start. Jeez, that's some loud fireworks. I hope those are fireworks. Oh yeah, did you know it's the 4th of July and the day I'm recording this? Although it doesn't seem to be a happy 4th of July considering everything that's going on today, going on these days.
Bummer.
And oops. Block. Oops. Refraction.
Bummer.
Oops. Monster Lab.
Bummer.
Oops. Yeah, I don't think I want to deal with this. But let's just see what's here. Oh dear. I don't think we really want to deal with this. But me recording this seems to want to go ahead and try it. And I soft-locked myself.
Bummer.
Oops. 3 doors. Pier 7. Whatever happened to Pier 1 imports? I think they closed down at this point. I think they were scheduled to close down or they're bankrupt at this point. I never went into that store, but I heard that it was just a specialty store. You wanted to buy stuff that would spruce up your house. Mugger Square. Oh dear. So you're gonna be forced to oops. So you're gonna be forced to getting mugged by these thieves that look like knockoff versions of Aaron Black from Mortal Kombat. Just imagine that. Aaron Black from Mortal Kombat is robbing you. And now because he robbed you, you just have to walk into your death. Problems. Yeah, I would say Chip has problems if he has to go through all of this. Chip clearly has problems if he has to walk through all of this just to join a club and be with the girl that he has a crush on. I would honestly pick another girl. I would honestly find another crush. A healthy crush. So I guess I have to grab all the keys and then quickly rush to opening these doors. And now I need to grab all the chips before disaster strikes.
Bummer.
Oops. Dig dirt. Play on Dig Dug, obviously. But we don't have a pump. But we don't have an air pump to just basically kill all these monsters. So yeah, that's a bad sign.
Bummer.
I gotta see if I can reinstall. Picking up the chips is what the challenge is all about. But on the ice, Chip gets chapped and feels like a chump instead of a champ. Yeah, I would stop at this point. I honestly would stop trying to join this club at this point. Because clearly the bit whatever guys these people are, they're playing you for a fool. They're clearly playing you for a fool at this point. But I'm still playing the CDN, so clearly I'm still playing. And yeah, this is an ice level where you need to figure out what direction to go in. As you saw earlier, there's no need to get all the chips. You just need to make sure that you're going in the right direction. Which I have no idea what that direction is. But clearly this game is playing you. The last laugh. Maybe Chip will actually get last laugh after all. Or not. So the chattering teeth there is trapped and hitting the switch. That basically directs the path that directs the monsters to block the path that you're going through. I have no idea how to go through this, and I can't seem to move faster than this guy.
Bummer.
So, oops. Yeah, I don't see how I would go about doing it. But I do give it the college try. I guess that's what it's called. Oh. Well, thankfully these bit busters or whatever they're called,
Bummer.
they want to keep out lobotomy heads, but I bet they didn't figure out that there's a level skip code. Traffic cop. Make these pesky monsters follow a path to the door trigger. First off, I'm wondering what monsters. Oh, those. And it looks like it's constantly being cloned. Generally, when it comes to a puzzle, I just want to see what the heck is going on. Grail, and I'm looking at this and going, oh dear God, I don't want to be here. Potpourri. Strange maze. Loop around. Hidden danger. Scoundrel. Yeah, this is a maze. And it's clear that, yeah, it's a scoundrel. Chip hits the ice and decides to chill out, then runs into a fake wall and turns the maze into a thrashathon. Freak. Notice how there's no time limit on this stage. They figured you were going to be here for a while. Yep, this is boring. Well, I wouldn't say it's boring, it's more that I don't like dealing with this. So, next one. Slow-mo! There's obviously somebody hitting the block switches, and I need to figure out how... And I just need to figure out how to get to the end. Wherever that is. Oh, there's a blob. Oh crap. Oh, I don't want any part of this. I don't want to be any part of this chattering teeth nonsense.
Bummer.
And oops. Block factory. Okay, so what am I dealing with here? I generate the blocks and they generate blocks on their own. Except now I'm in a trap position.
Bummer.
And oops. Spooks. Oh dear. I need to move carefully so as not to trigger these guys to eating me. But I have to. And I pretty much have to run. Oops. Amsterdam. Okay. This looks simple. But usually the things that look simple are not simple. Victim. Yeah, I think you're a victim at this point. Oops.
Bummer.
Oops. So all the chattering teeth basically want a piece of you, and there's nothing you can do. And
Bummer.
oops. Yeah, that's a troll level. Chip mine. More mazes. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Well, eeny, meeny, like eeny, miny, mo. Bounce City. That doesn't sound too bad. Oops. Nightmare. Yeah, I think I'm going to start having nightmares now that I have chattering teeth, bugs, and a block, a spaceship, all chasing after me.
Bummer.
Oops. Chip is halfway through the world. It's hard as puzzles. If he succeeds, maybe the kids will stop calling him computer breath. Maybe you'll actually live. I wouldn't want to be called... I don't care about being called computer breath, but I do care about everything else. And I missed on the recording. But yeah, here we are in a level that's clearly another maze. But yeah, this is pretty much this game. Is mazes. And I look away from the screen long enough and I notice that the level changed again. And I'm trapped.
Bummer.
Oops! Steam! Yeah. Yeah, Steam. There's nothing wrong with Steam except... Oops! Fourplex. This obviously looks like one. This obviously looks like you need to figure this out before, and you're gonna probably restart a couple of times. Invincible champion. Okay, nothing can be bad about this one. Could it? I just need to open the path so I can grab the 5 chips and make sure that I can get to the exit. That sounds simple enough. Oh dear God. They can even enter water? Foursquare. Nope. Drawn and quartered. Vanishing act. Oh. Chip used to spend his time programming computer games and making models, but that was just practice for this brain buster. I think you should just go back to making computer games and models. I don't see anything wrong with that. I think this girlfriend is nothing but trouble for you. I think this girl you have a crush on is nothing but trouble. Socialist action. Oh dear. So the obvious thing to do is to make it so that I can break the path. Like make this so I can break the path of bugs. And chattering teeth so I can get to the exit.
Bummer.
Oops! Up the block. This one doesn't look too bad, but wars. What kind of wars are we talking? Oops. Telenet. Suicide. Yeah, I think that's what this company wants. What this club wants you to do. Instead of joining them, they don't want you to join them. They want you to die. They clearly want you to die. And oops. City block. Spirals. So another maze. And more like pick the right path or die. And you have to pick it quick. Which I didn't, and I'm trapped. And I'm going to die.
Bummer.
Oops! Blockbuster!
Bummer.
Oops! Let's try that again. Now I'm stuck.
Bummer.
Oops! Somehow. Playhouse. I can do it. I know I can, Chip thinks as the going gets tougher. Besides Melinda, the mental marvel waits at the end. Besides Melinda, the mental marvel waits at the end. That's a run-on sentence. Jumping swarm. That doesn't sound good. But let's see what happens at the end anyway. Let's see what we're dealing with anyway.
Bummer.
Oops! Vortex! Not the kind that you see in fighting games. Well, clearly I'm trapped. Road sign. Now you see it? No, I don't. Foursquare. Paranoia.
Bummer.
Oops. Metastable to chaos. That doesn't sound ominous or anything. I mean, clearly the Bitbusters are some form of cult or something, and they only allow certain special people to join. You know, the kind with money. These are the kind of people that you would see that would have everything for some reason. And anybody who doesn't has to solve these puzzles. Which they figure nobody can actually solve these puzzles. So screw it.
Bummer.
Oops. Shrinking. My sanity is shrinking. Catacombs. Oh, they got that thing in the center. Colony.
Bummer.
Oops. Besides being an angel on Earth, Melinda is the top scorer in the challenge and the president of the Bitbusters. I don't think Melinda's worth it. Maybe you should go for Cinda. Or Melanie, or whoever else is there. Ice House. What could possibly go wrong here? Oh. Oh. I remember working construction, and we used to call our place where we would get ice and water for our jugs the Ice House. It looked nothing like this though. It was just a little shed. It was just a little shed with a water hose and a freezer.
Bummer.
Oops. Memory. No, thank you. Jailer. Short circuit. Oh boy. Well, I can see where this is going. Kablam. Oh, okay, I get it. You gotta make the enemies run into the bombs. That's why there's no time limit. Because you're gonna be here for a good while. And I guess I gotta interrupt these bombs somehow. Well, interrupt the path somehow. Maybe make them run into a bomb? I don't know. I messed up. Balls of fire!
Bummer.
Oops! Blockout! Torture chamber! Yeah,
Bummer.
maybe they called their challenge the torture chamber. Chiller! Chip can't wait to join the Bitbusters. The club already figured out the school's password and accessed everyone's grades. Oh, so this is what we're dealing with actually. We're dealing with a group that basically decides whether or not a person can pass school or not. That's quite a conspiracy theory already. This is quite a conspiracy already.
Bummer.
Oops! Fortune favors the... There's no words after.
Bummer.
It's usually fortune favors the bold, but oops! Open question. The 8th block is open. I don't know what the 8th block you're talking about. Deception.
Bummer.
Yeah, Chip, you're being deceived.
Bummer.
Oops. Oversea delivery. Blockbuster 2.
Bummer.
Oops. The Marsh. Misdirection. Slide Step. Alphabet Soup.
Bummer.
Oops. If Chip's grades aren't as good as Melinda's, maybe she'll come over to his house and help him study. But they have access to everyone's grades, so you can just change your grades. You wouldn't even have to worry if you join this group. Oops. Totally fair. Yeah, I'm sure. See, this is the bad thing about having your grades on a computer. Somebody could just figure out the password. Somebody could just figure out the passwords and just basically hack the computer. And I'm stuck. The prisoner. Yeah, I'm a prisoner. Fire trap. That sounds promising.
Bummer.
Oops. Mixed nuts. Block and roll. Skillsy. All full. Awful. Ice Cube. I've made it this far, Chip thinks. Totally fair. My mega brain, then he starts the next maze. Totally unfair, he yelps. Totally unfair. This looks the same as the other one. Remember Totally Fair? Yeah, but I didn't like that one either, and that wasn't fair. Dealing with the same thing. I don't know what to do. That's clearly a trap. I can't figure out a way in there.
Bummer.
Out of time. Yeah, totally unfair. Mix up. Blob dance. Pain. Yeah, pretty much at this point you're probably feeling pain. Trust me. You know what? I'm gonna be an idiot and trust you. Although I have no idea what I'm trusting. And
Bummer.
oops. Yeah, that's what I get for trusting you. Gold key. I'm speeding through these levels, and so I didn't get to read all of them. Partial post. So this one you have to figure out how to enter the teleporter and reach the exit. Easier said than done. Block teleporters to reroute them. So I have to push blocks into the teleporter to make sure that I come out on the right end and be able to actually enter the teleporter. It's easier said than done. And I probably soft locked myself anyway, but I don't like this level. York House. Oh, this doesn't look so bad. Just gotta get all the chips and avoid these guys.
Bummer.
Oops. Ice death.
Bummer.
Oops. Groovaloids. Chip makes it almost to the end. He's stoked. Underground. Oops. Pentagram. Yeah, see, yeah, if you haven't, I would still be incredibly suspect. Walk the line inscribed on the pentagram to avoid its curse. Yeah, at this point, I'm incredibly suspicious of these guys. Of the Bit Busters. Fireflies. Oops. That was totally gross. Chip now just stop. Chip now just 5 more. And this is just basically a thank you. This is basically a thank you or credits. This is just basically a credits level. Which is kind of hard to read. Because they used one more block. I think they would have been okay with just 5. I think they would have been okay with 4 blocks, but they decided to use 5. Anyway, just grab these boots and oh dear God, why? Special thanks to the WEP 4 test team. Cakewalk. It's not.
Bummer.
Oops. Force field. Nope. Next, please. Mind block. This is basically my mind on depression. This is basically my mind when it comes to depression. Oops. Special. What's so special about special? Everything looks simple. Let me actually try and play this one, see if there's any gimmick to it. Okay. Let's skip. Great job, Chip. You finished the challenge. Now you can take Melinda, the mental marvel, to the Bit Busters EEPROM. And the game starts over from here. Honestly, I would worry about joining these guys. I would honestly worry about joining these guys. Maybe I think Chip should just join the wrestling team. Or you know what? Join the video game club. Or go back to making video games. Go back to making video games and building models. There's nothing wrong with that. Well, yeah. Well, yeah, that's Chip's Challenge. I hope you enjoyed this game. There is a Chip's Challenge too. And honestly, I remember this game being a lot more... I remember this game being a lot longer and not having a story. Now that there is a story, I'm kind of creeped out as to who the Bit Busters are. But yeah, that's Chip's Challenge. You can actually go back and select the level if you wish to, and decide to play through those. Well, yeah, 149 levels, or really, there might be 150 levels, and I have no idea how to access 150 except for playing through all the levels. But yeah, I am Brad Reed, Gaming Mole. I will see you guys next time. Later.